Call Alam Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Wakar Akodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well of Yasha Allah. Peace and blessings to the faithful elect of Yasha Allah. Yasha Allah being Hebrew for Israel. This your brother Shariat Nawasai Shaman coming back with another watch, another lesson, quick edification, some exhortation. Which I first and foremost want to also say that this is only out to you so-called Negroes, so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians, because you are actually the people of God. You're the children of God. Yes, you're the people of the Bible, the people of the book. You're famous. This is why everybody hates you, because you're actually cursed, and you are actually the biblical Israelites. All right? So pretty much what's going on right now is this UBI phase that we're in as far as this whole coronavirus shutdown that's going on. Brothers are speaking on it. So, we're a flock. So I figured, it's time to go ahead and follow the herd on this. I actually seen this like I don't know how many days ago, but pretty much it's basically it's just a response to what's going on right now. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with this video right here, and then I'm gonna go to the video I originally seen going into this before it really became a thing. But lo and behold, has actually always been a thing, and a part of the one of the tactics that could bring forth the usher in the New World Order that the so-called white man, who's Esau, wants to bring in. All right, so
there's a big idea out there that could help solve this. It's called a universal basic income. The government would give everyone, say, $500 or $1,000 a month, no strings attached, sort of like a social security payment. A basic income would help eliminate America. We are the richest country on earth, and indeed, the richest civilization that has ever existed. We put a man on the moon. We invented the internet, the assembly line, and the airplane. More billionaires live here than anywhere else on earth. And we are widely acknowledged as being the most powerful single nation around. But for a country so wealthy and so innovative, our living standards are not that great. Our infant mortality and child poverty rates are among the highest in the developed world. Americans can expect to live shorter and sicker lives compared with people living in many other rich democracies. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world. And of the 10 richest countries, the United States comes in last in terms of mobility and opportunity. The United States is so rich, and yet so many of its citizens remain impoverished. There's a big idea out there that could help solve this. It's called a universal basic income. The government would give everyone, say, $500 or $1,000 a month, no strings attached, sort of like a social security payment. A basic income would help eliminate poverty, especially deep poverty and poverty among children. It would give workers more bargaining power. With that kind of safety net, people might become more entrepreneurial and take more risks. They might free themselves from abusive figures in their lives. They might go back to school. They might make more art. They might choose to spend more time with their families or take care of their elderly relatives or volunteer in their communities. And economists think it is unlikely that many people would stop working. Just look at lottery winners. 85% of them continue to work. Studies even show that people might be more productive, healthier, happier, and more cohesive as a society. Most importantly, a UBI would give Americans basic security and more control over their lives. There are some downsides to a UBI. It would cost a lot, though the United States...
Now, I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to go ahead and get my input real quick. So pretty much, with the second video I'm going to pull up, it's this you know, this Eve, this so-called black woman, who's once again, laying down with Esau, the so-called white man, and pretty much being used to help usher in her own destruction, right, and outright the downfall of all humanity, because she has no foresight, nor does she want any, and she's a complete idiot. All right, and that's just the truth. Now, she's blind. She's an Israelite who's asleep. She doesn't know who she is, and she's envious of the wicked, which the scriptures speak about. Now, lo and behold, this just came out. This is like the new thing. This is phase, as they said, was proceeding into phase 2, like a couple weeks ago, right? Of this, pretty much the order they're trying to bring. They're trying to bring down or bring forth with the whole coronavirus scare, this plague, possible plague that has truly hit the earth, and Esau, the so-called white man, he's just using it, and being used to just bring forth the ultimate prophecy, which is the chip. Now, I say all that to say, with this being, with that being announced 2 weeks ago, this would pretty much be what they were talking about as far as phase 2. Now, this was like became a thing like 4 days ago, right? And they're gonna go on and say it in this lesson as well. I mean, this video as well. But pretty much when you go into it, this thing has been around for they've been talking about this for years, like before the coronavirus has even hit. So this really shows that it's a real new world order, and it's a strategy that this so-called white man is trying to use. Esau, who's today calling himself a white man, a so-called white man, he is really using this to his advantage, man. This has always been in the playbook of Esau. Just how they see that you really don't have our playbook. Us, the so-called woke blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who are waking up across the four corners of the earth to the fact and truth that we're actually the Israelites, the chosen people of God, and the true judges and rulers of this earth. You think you have our playbook, but you really don't. You really don't, because you have yet to see anything. That's how we have yet to see what you're gonna do, but we know what you're gonna do because it's prophecy, and we understand it and we believe these things. You don't believe what we're ultimately gonna be able to do. What we're gonna do, even if you do believe it, is gonna be unfathomable, man. So I say that to say, when you scroll through the YouTube search, that's really the so-called white man's entire playbook, because we got dates and we can see that different news media outlets have been talking about this. Different journalists have been putting together, videos on this at high levels. So I'm going to go ahead and finish playing this first before I keep going.
It's a relatively low-tax country right now, and we could afford it. It might lead some people to stop working, particularly older workers, younger workers, and the parents of little kids. It might create inflation with prices rising since everybody would have more money to spend. It also might grate against our deep-seated belief that nobody should get something for nothing. The idea of a basic income isn't new. It's been around for more than 500 years, with everybody from Martin Luther King Jr. to Richard Nixon to Bill Gates supporting some version of it. We're living in a time of great technology.
Note that Bill Gates has been like the biggest face during the coronavirus. So
Logical advancement and enormous abundance. But poverty continues. Some families have private inheritances, passing on their accumulated wealth. A basic income would be like a social inheritance.
What's so real about that is he's always been in on this. The brother, he did some diligent research, man, and he ended up finding out that Bill Gates has a patent. Basically the Microsoft. That whole brand goes back, it just goes into the chip, micro, that's tiny, that's small, that goes into the microchip, man, right? Now, he actually has a patent that's, dated years, and the number on the patent is 666. Now, I tell you in the Bible that, let me get it really quick. Revelation 13, and it's Salakia. Verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Right? And we know it's not an actual dragon. You don't see dragons flying around out here. Right? These are beast-like people on this earth, man. Right? Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. So these beast-like people, they have a number, right? For it is the number of a man. So that beast is a man, right? And that's the so-called white man, right? You so-called white people, right? And because you're Esau, you're the wicked of the earth, according to the Bible. It says, and his number is 600, 6. Now 600, that's 600, 600. But a score is 20, right? So that's 60. So that'll be 660, right? Because it say 3 score. 1 score is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. And we already have 600. So that's 660. And it says, and 6. So that'll be what? 666. 666. So that's just funny that he has a patent dated back years ago that goes into it's a microchip company, and when you look at the patent number, it's 666. And this was the Bible was telling us that this was going to be a very important indicator to look out for, due to what is because the book Revelation, the book that has the title Revelation on it, that title Revelation, it means revealed, man. That's what it actually goes into. It goes into a reveal. So it was being revealed that this was going to be an indicator when the world comes to an end. The world that people know, that stands while all the prophecies of the Bible, of the scriptures, have not came to pass yet. So that's pretty much what I want to say on that. And they said that this has been around for over 500 years. So before this coronavirus has came forth, Bill Gates was always into a UBI ideology, right? And now he's being out of nowhere. You don't know this. And this whole time he's been the face during this coronavirus. So let's just keep going.
Sharing the wealth that this society has created and eliminating deprivation for everybody.
So that's that video, right? Now, when you look at this date, this is from a year ago. The coronavirus hasn't been going on for a year, man. Let's get the approximate date. August 16th, right? Which is a spiritual number, right? But anyway, August 16th, 2018, man. And this was by the Atlantic. Now, see this? History of universal basic income, 6 months, 2 years. This is the video I seen. A brother right there. 4 days ago. 1 year. 11 months. 2 years. 2 years. 1 year. 1 year. And then here's Elon Musk. He's even in on this, right? The same guy that came out with Neuralink. Because ultimately, all this is bringing forth is people being chipped, man. That's really my response, man. 3 years, and then they already done said in the video that this has been something that this has been an idea for over 500 years, but it's really been being brought into reality. As early as 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. See that? Well, that's basic income. So I want to let's cut that one. Let's stop right there. Universal basic income. Elon Musk moving toward universal basic income due to automation. See that? It's just so much on this. This has been going on this entire time. So this is very well could be, it's a plague, but the creator of heaven and earth, the Father, whose name is Yahweh, he set up the so-called white man to be the wicked of the earth. So him bringing forth his promise that he was going to bring famine, pestilence, and sword. This being started with pestilence, which is going to bring forth the famine, right? Because no one can work, right? Everyone's scared to fly. No one can bring in the trucks to the docks, you know, with the imports that a country needs as far as the resources and stuff like that and different products or whatever, because everyone's sick. But this very well could have been brought to the earth through Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai being who people ignorantly call Jesus, the Father's creation, man. So the Father, in the name of his Son's creation, man. In the name of his Son creation, being the so-called white man. He could have used the so-called white man to really create this thing in a laboratory and bring this forth. And it's probably always been set up like that. He really allowed him to live up to his lot, man. Because this don't make no sense right here. But let's get the next video.
This is a check for $28,200 something that I'm about to deposit in my bank account.
All right, so this is what I originally seen like days ago.
That small business owners don't have to play with.
As tens of Americans, millions of Americans lose their jobs and their businesses, one thing's become very clear. Something needs to change. The economic inequality in our society have only increased since the pandemic began. With so many people struggling to make ends meet, there need to be serious conversations about the best solutions for helping people move forward. And one of the things we've discussed on this show, universal basic income, a guaranteed income, is one way for us to not only close the gap of inequality, but also make sure that people can weather the storm until the storm ends. Now, UBI, as it's called, is controversial. Political leaders like Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Ed Markey have come out in support of similar plans during this pandemic. Now, a new survey showed that, in fact, 76% of all Americans, both Democrats and Republicans, support a guaranteed income. There have been attempts in the past to test out what happens if Americans are given a no-strings-attached.
And that goes into another thing in the Bible. It tell you that it's a lamb that spoke as a dragon, spoke as a beast, paraphrasing. And basically when he opened his mouth, like basically before he opened his mouth, it's like judging a book by its cover. It looked like a lamb, but when you actually read the book, it was a beast, right? And it had two horns. The two horns going into what people know today as the political parties being one opposing side versus another side. But lo and behold, you know, they both want the same thing. So it's the same thing because guess what? Those two different horns, right, is on the same beast this entire time. Everything you want is from the beast. Everything you people vote on is from the options given by this actual beast, which tries to sell itself to be a lamb. But let's keep going.
Income, the most recent, the Magnolia Mothers Trust, has been giving $1,000.
And that's in the book of Revelation.
Payments to 15 low-income African-American mothers, allowing them to have some flexibility as they attempt to survive the pandemic. With me now is Aisha Nyandoro, the CEO of Spring, as they 15 low-income African-American mothers. Strings-attached income, the most recent, the Magnolia Mothers Trust, has been giving There have been attempts in the past to test test out what happens if Americans are given a no-strings-attached income. The most recent, the Magnolia Mothers Trust, has been giving $1,000 payments to 15 low-income African-American mothers, allowing them to have some flexibility as they attempt to survive the pandemic. With me now is Aisha Nyandoro, the CEO of Springboard to Opportunities, which runs the Magnolia Mothers Trust initiative. Aisha, good to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us. You and I talked about this some time ago, in which there was an experiment in which these mothers were given this money on a no-strings-attached basis. To a lot of people, that goes against what they think work and money should be about. Tell me why it works and what you've seen as a result.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you so much for having me here to have this really important conversation. And what it is that we're seeing that cash does, it really does allow you the opportunity to have breathing room and to show up and not worry about your day-to-day existence because you know that your basic needs are taken care of. We did our first iteration of the Magnolia Mothers Trust where we ended our pilot in December of 2019, where those 20 families demonstrated that 100% of them indicated that their basic needs were met, that they were now optimistic about their future, that they were able to plan and had less stress. And prior to COVID-19 really having the impact that we're seeing that it has now, or will have long term, we did the lottery in the iteration of the next demonstration. So now 80 women, 80 families are receiving $1,000 a month for 12 months with no strings attached. And already we are seeing the benefit that this is having on their lives and their livelihood and their families. Women are telling us that despite the fact that they've already lost their jobs, that they've already lost hours, that they know that they'll be able to take care of themselves and their families. And like you say, and weather this storm for the duration of this storm, because this isn't a 2-month or a 3-month pandemic. We don't know how long this will end. So knowing that individuals have what it is that they need to not be stressed and to continue to still thinking optimistically about their future, that goes a long way right now.
I want to put up a map of the places in the United States where there have been experiments with universal basic income. When you and I first talked about this, we talked with Chris Hughes. Since then, Andrew Yang ran for president, and he popularized the issue. Kenya has the longest and largest running universal basic income experiment. Iran has a nationwide one. Alaska has something that's tied to oil funds. It's not called the same thing, but it's basically a rebate that people get because of oil money. Talk to me about how, when you're making this argument, you fight back against people who have it built into them that this is money for nothing. This is the same argument that people made about welfare. It's money for nothing, and it disincentivizes work.
So all of the research actually shows that it does incentivize work, that it actually allows individuals to work in a way in which actually makes sense for themselves and their families. But we have got to get to the place within this country where we stop connecting poverty as a moral failing and take moralism off of the reality of the fact that individuals are poor because a lot of these systems are not aligned to allow you an opportunity to get ahead financially and to have economic security. And as we move forward with COVID and see how in a relatively short amount of time, how this disease has ravaged our economy, it is bringing to light what we have been saying for years, that less than the majority of Americans have $400 for an emergency.
So you could pretty much watch. I can't watch anymore, huh? You pretty much go watch that on your own. This is why the so-called black woman is about to be killed brutally, because she's an idiot. She's a goddamn idiot. She don't know anything. She runs her mouth and she's completely out of place. Now, with that being said, let's talk with some decorum. Proverbs 23:1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. Right? So they always put the so-called black woman in a seat of so-called power, right? But this is instruction right here for that, right? This is the protocol for when you're in the seat of power next to, rulers, right? But the so-called white, the so-called black woman, she doesn't since the beginning of time, through Eve, she has never dealt with counsel, right? She has never dealt with how she should move before she moves. They just don't, most of you don't deal with this, you know. It's one pretty much a precept I want to get to prove my point. Let me see. Then I'm gonna pull some scriptures up on the screen. Let me get this. Proverbs 18, Shalakia, Proverbs 13 and 18. It says, man, I could get 17, but I'm gonna get 18. It says, you know what? Let me get 17. It says, a wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is helped. So Eve, she's being a messenger right now, right? But she's ultimately wicked, because she out of line, because it tell you in the scriptures that women aren't to teach. She's on broadcasted live TV, MSNBC, running her mouth, right? Completely out of order, you know. So she's off right there. So that would make her wicked, And she you could pretty much tell by her spirit she doesn't want to adhere to this, because she's in a position of power, man. And there's so many scriptures you can get, but this is just off the fly right now. But it says, so she's falling into mischief, man. And when you go into that word mischief, because I could pretty much get off of here. Let me go ahead and go into these scriptures. And then I'm going to get back to the point. But she just got to, that has to be brought down, what she's being used to do. And the so-called white man, he knows this. So this is a very important part of this, because you see, he went into talking about experiments, and she started a company, and they're giving it to so-called black so-called African American women, black women who are actually Israelites, the true Jews, and pretty much she's about to bring their destruction, because she's saying this is a good thing. But one of the key things he said was, I can go back to it, but pretty much he said, what did he say? I'm gonna have to go back to it, but let me get this first. So when you go into that word, was it 13 to 18? No, 13 to 17. Salak. 13 to 17. When you go into that word mischief, the word right there is right? So that's evil, bad, disagreeable. Let's see, misery, giving pain, unhappiness, misery, evil. So she's falling into evil. She's falling into in general, of person, of thoughts, deeds, actions, because these are deeds and actions that's going to actually bring forth the misery of the earth, the misery of the prophecies, of the ultimate prophecy, and that's people ultimately being chipped, man, and not being able to buy or sell. And it's another video I can get that one of the Akim brought out, another lesson that Ak just did. Now, let me just pull up my scriptures on her, man. I'm going to just flow through this so I can get off of her. Let's get my main scripture that I want to get, because that wasn't even my point. 13 and 18. It says, "Poverty and shame shall be to him." So let me start at 17 again. A wicked messenger fall into mischief, right? Because she's refusing instruction. Was going to go on to say that. But a faithful ambassador is health. So you're not bringing forth health, man. Let's get that word health. She's trying to play messengers like she's bringing forth the greater good. That word for health right there is marpa, right? Marpa.
Strong's H 4832. Matapay.
That's not even Hebrew.
Second entry.
Marpa.
Matapay.
Marpa is health in Hebrew. It says health, healing, cure, health, profit, health or profit. So she's talking and she's being a messenger as if she's bringing forth the healing and cure. This is all set up, man. And you people, my ultimate response, I'm laughing, man. I'm going to bring up the lesson that Ak did, man. And it's hilarious to me, man. It's a so-called black woman crying, but I'm going to stay, this is the spirit, but I'm going to stay, I'm just going to stay in the scriptures until I get to that point, man. Because people need to hear this. Healing, cure, health, profit. You're not benefiting from this. She's acting like she's bringing forth a benefit for people. What does it say? Remedy, sound, wholesome, yielding. That's what the NIB, UIB, universal, what is it? Universal, whatever it's called. Let me see. Yeah, UBI, Salakia. Universal basic income is supposed to do. But they gave you the cons in the first video, right? Now, since we got that word for health, which is marpa, it says a wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. So they're trying to make who they know her to be, which is a wicked messenger, because she's an Israelite, she's out of line, and he's all of the so-called white man uses the Bible. All he do is get everything that works for the left-hand side, and he continues to apply, man. He can read the scriptures and find out how he's going to come up, because he only wants to do his lot. One of the elders said, I think the elder Apostle Gabar said a while ago, like last year, I believe, he said that the so-called white man, he's in order, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you're not in order. He's doing his job. You're not doing your job, man. And he's able to recognize that and use you every time. Even the serpent all over again, man. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. And he's cunning. That's his gift. So he presents her actually being a wicked messenger as a faithful ambassador. My point, though, verse 18. Poverty and shame shall be to him that... See, him, not her. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction. So you want to play the role of a man. So guess what? You're about to actually bring forth, instead of marpa, health, right? Which is sound mind, benefits, a remedy. You're actually going to bring forth poverty and shame, right? How? Because, let's keep reading first. Shall be to him that refuseth instruction. Why? Because the Lord just told you back in... let me finish this. Refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. Why? Why is that going to be? Because you people think we just can't prove our point just simply reading the Bible. Because 23rd chapter. Because he said, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. So you need to be looking into, if you want to be sitting after that seat of power, you need to be really studying these people and seeing what they have done throughout their history, how they have overthrown people, how did they even get in America, how did the so-called white man even get to where he is. You want to be like him instead of looking into his track record and seeing how he has even gotten to his position of power, man. That's why the scriptures tell you don't be envious of the wicked, man, because you don't know their latter end, man. She don't know he's about to be destroyed and go into slavery, and you're going to be killed, Eve. You're going to be killed, man. It says, bayan. It says to discern, understand, consider, perceive. You have no perception, man. No perception. Your whole cognitive faculties are completely turned off. to perceive and discern, to understand and know. You could tell just how she's looking in it. She has a damn delusional, lost, dismal look on her face, man. She's under a trance. It says to preserve, discern, to understand, know with the mind, to observe, mark, give heed, distinguish, consider. You really think that you can? It said the scriptures tell you never trust thine enemy, man. And the scriptures tell you who your enemy would be. If you come from the people that came off those slave ships, you so-called blacks, Negroes, Latinos, Native American people, that overthrew. You lost your land, right, etc. Conquistadors and all of that. The scriptures tell you that those people, if you fall under that criteria, the people that did that to you are your enemies, man. That's what the Bible says, man. But you people don't believe in the Bible. So that's why she's going to fall into mischief, right? And poverty and shame, because she didn't give heed to this, man. She wanted to sit in that seat with a ruler, but she didn't diligently consider what was before thee, which was an instruction, man. Because it told you that you refused instruction. 13 and 18, Proverbs. Poverty and shame shall be to him. That's a promise that refuseth instruction, man. So instead of marpa, salakia, you're going to receive poverty and shame. Now, why do I say it? How do we know that? Because when you go into that UBI, man, that universal basic income, what it actually is going to do is going to cause, which I got another lesson by the Spirit, a sign that the Lord gave me, right? Inflation is about to happen. What is inflation? Inflation is basically when people make more money. It's something that occurs every year, right? It's when your rent, when everything continues to go up as far as things you buy. They continue to go up somehow every year. That's inflation, man. Even if it's a little bit. So what does that mean? That means the money you had, right? A certain amount of money is less valuable, right? $1 for a bag of chips is now $1.50. But in 1999, you can get it for $1. Just for example, you can get a bag of chips for $1, right? So now you go back and you get that same bag of chips is $1.50. So that means that dollar it has lost value, man. So that right there is a very critical part of inflation, right? That's a sign that inflation has happened. Now, what is inflation and what does that have to do with the UBI? The UBI is going to give people more money, man, because it says people not going to start working, but yet the government is going to give them a $500 to $1,000. Basically, what they should have been doing. That's the cunningness of the devil. Everybody know that it's enough money to go around. It's enough land for everybody to have a home. They don't have to continue to pay for it. You shouldn't be taking my money, before I even get to it. That doesn't even make sense with taxes, So what does that actually show you? That means that people, this is another way to get to inflation, right? Pretty much, or this is a way when you get to inflation. When your money doubles, that means pretty much they know that because they give you the money. If they example, they raise minimum wage $2. A few dollars is enough to double your check, man. Don't you think the people, the government understands? It's a budget, man. It's a financial budget. They see how much their citizens are making. If they just gave everybody let's say $4 raise, they know everybody is making this much more. So what do? That allows them to bring the prices up. That's inflation, man. So when those prices go up, you're not even making money anymore. You're not you don't even have that gain anymore. It actually has went down. But they're pretty much going to do it to the point where you're not going to be able to afford anything, man. That's what they're basically going to do. They're going to give people this money, and when people get this money, all the prices are going to go sky high on everything, man, because people will be making more money, man. Right? So when inflation happens, you're basically poor because you can't afford anything because everything is too high. They're going to do that all across the board. So that's going to be the case for everybody that's not of the elite, right? Of that upper echelon, man. Right? So what does that allow them the opportunity to do? Start over. What is another form of starting over? New. What? New world order, man. That's what's about to happen, man. They are about to bring a new world order. Basically, because when you inflate something, the thing that you use, something basically has lost value. What's gonna be what is gonna be that thing? What's gonna be that something? The dollar, man. They're trying to make the dollar lose value because they want to get rid of it. They want to bring the chip. That's what's getting ready to happen, man. Why would you give people more money and that's something that automatically causes inflation? You can't give people more money because the more money people got, you buy up everything. People will go buy out this and buy out that. That stops it from being a hierarchy. Basically, you making everybody be even, and that's a false balance. Someone has to be poor and somebody has to be rich. Somebody has to have more than something. That's a balance, man. Strong, weak, yin yang. That's balance, man. So why would they give everybody the opportunity to go? Man, if I want to go back to school, open my own business, that don't make no sense. When they give you that double, when you making you people, because some of you people can't sit down. When you get that extra $1,500, if they're gonna bring forth that, and you keep working, you're gonna see how much more money you're gonna be making. So that video is right. But guess what? You think they really gonna allow you that? When have you ever seen it be like that? All your days of living, never, right? So at that point, what's gonna happen? They're doing that to cause an inflation. You get a raise, don't you notice every time you get a raise, the rent goes up? You ain't making more money, man. But they about to do it on a level to where you basically gonna have nothing, man. They're gonna inflate everything to the point where you have nothing, man. Nothing. Nothing. And what does that allow for them to do? Start over. All right, everybody. Your dollar basically the dollar is valueless because instead of making that chip that bag of chips that used to be $1.50 this year, we're gonna make it $7. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have enough money to get food. So that means that dollar ain't gonna be worth nothing. That's how inflation works, man. So what does that do? All right, everybody. Ordo ab chaos. It causes chaos because this is a chaotic thing that they're forming right now, man. You giving more people money with no strings attached. That's the inflation tactic, man. Just go look it up. You can learn about it in a minute, man. It's not even hard. But this is something you've been understood because you see it every year. You make more money, but yet everything costs more. That's inflation. Salakia. That's inflation happening every year, man. Satan trying to knock the phone out of my hand, man. That's what's getting ready to happen. So that's pretty much my response on it, man. So that give them the opportunity to start over. New, AKA. Right? Because when you start over, you're basically new. New world order, man. The new world order is no more. What's a part of the new world order? No more cash, man. No more physical cash. No more Federal Reserve notes, man. Right? No more FRNs, man. None of that. It's going to be chips. Bill Gates, he's pushing for it because he has the product. That's what he's been. That's his part of this. He's not that man. That man is talking about Esau, man. That's what that's talking about. Esau got a bunch of descendants, man. And he got levels of them. Different levels of them. Amalek being the top. Them the so-called Jews. A lot of these top so-called white people claim to be Jews. They fake Jews, man. Because they're Amalek. They're the worst of the Edomites. Period. That's who's doing all this. And Eve, she's bringing forth that. She's about to bring forth poverty and shame to herself and her own people because she didn't consider it. And this so-called white man knew she wasn't going to pick up on that. Why? Because she don't even know who she is. He taught her everything she know. She ain't go get no. She spent all her life going after degrees instead of finding out what the hell happened. How the hell did a whole people go into slave ships? How did a people that was completely here before everybody else basically disappear and not on top. Without the so-called Native American Indians and so-called Latinos, you don't have an America. Why aren't they on top? No one considers these things. People talking about some, I didn't think it was important to know who I was. You're a fucking idiot, man. You're a damn idiot. You're a stupid ass idiot, man. Excuse my language, but that's it say surely oppression maketh the wise man mad. These people hiding who you are, man. You without knowing who you are, you don't even know what the hell you need to be doing. That's like if you ain't know if you a man or a woman. You wouldn't know your place. You don't know what to tend to. You don't have a clue, man. And you letting another goddamn human being, he ain't even a human being, you letting another damn creature on this earth tell you that, man. That you can physically see and put to death. You people deserve exactly what's coming. That's my response, man. I laughed at that, man. Damn so-called Latino woman. I don't give a damn, man. Fuck her. Giving the scripture say, all right, let's get that then. The Lord said this because the Lord got that same, he got that attitude, right? Jeremiah 7:14. It says, let me see, 16. Therefore, matter of fact, you know what? This so-called Native American, this the so-called Native Americans and Latinos to begin with. 7 and 14. Let me get 13. And now because, let me start at 12. But go ye now unto my place which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Israel. And now, because ye have done all these works, saith the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, saith Yahweh, and I spake unto you, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, it says, and I spake unto you rising up, and I spake unto you rising up early and speaking. How? By men he set up from the ancient time that were of the Israelite nation, man. Because them are his people. Them only people he care about and deal with, man. Right? He used you other nations, but he don't care about you, man. It's that simple. You're his creation, right? He care about you for in the sense of what he made you for. And that's to not be cared about, man. Right? Serve his people. But anyway, and now because ye have done all these works, saith the Lord, saith Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, and I spake unto you rising up early and speaking. But ye heard not, and I called you, but ye answer not. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh, man. So you see what the Lord did to Israel. Israel was sacked, man. He about to destroy you. He about to destroy you, wicked Jakes, man. You wicked so-called Negroes, blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, man. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. What is he talking about? History. When the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom split, the northern kingdom went into the Assyrian captivity. They teach you about that in school, but they don't teach you that the Israelites, who were the people of the Bible, which is why you can't learn about the Bible in school, were in it, because the people of the Bible are actually above all people on the face of the earth. They don't want you to know that, man. But they push white supremacy. But anyway, that's what Ephraim represents, the northern kingdom. He casted them out of his sight because they went into Syrian captivity, and when the bid was up for them to do, they came to the Americas, man. In the book known as the Apocrypha, which means hidden, man. The scriptures that were once a part of the complete Bible, right, were taken out and put to the side, but used to actually find the northern kingdom Israelites and set up America. A place abundant in gold and in all type of etc. Resources, man, right? And it had the people of God, the power and salt of the earth, right? Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. He said, seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? You know what I'm saying? 19. It says, let me keep going. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger? Saith the Lord, saith Yahweh. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? So, man, and that's, man, you know what? I gotta get it now. Make sure I'm still recording. Salakia. What is this?
The motion is adopted.
Last week, Congress passed a $2.2 trillion stimulus package.
This will deliver urgently needed relief to our nation's families, workers, and businesses.
This is the biggest stimulus in American history.
Because they about to give you people all the money that you want, right? And you're going to be able to afford everything. They're not finna buy up everything. Woo! The prices of everything going to go up so high to where you basically going to have no money. You're going to have less money than you had before you got all that money. That's how it's going to be.
Of it going directly into Americans' bank accounts.
And as the coronavirus crisis continues killing jobs, this might be...
You can't see the deceit on this man's eyes. You can't clear... You really can sit up here and tell me in your right mind, you cannot see the deceitfulness in this man's eyes, man. You cannot see that? You cannot see... You really gonna tell me you can't see that? All right, man.
Just the first rounds. Some politicians and policymakers have said that this extraordinary moment requires a more extraordinary bailout. And one alternative idea that's been getting a lot of attention is UBI, or Universal Basic Income.
Now, to be clear, the stimulus...
Let me get to the point.
The sharpest...
This is so-called white man who's actually Esau today, calling himself so-called white man, Caucasians, instilling all type of identities, right? Of people who they just truly never were. You're not Russians. You're not the original people of Europe. You're not, that's why everything is ish. You're not even the people of Ireland. You're not the real Jews. Everything is ish with these people because they're imposters, fakes, and devils, deceivers, and the earth has been given into their hands, man. That's why everything works in their favor, man. And they're on top because they're truly Esau, man. The older brother of Jacob, man. Another thing in the hidden book, those hidden scriptures known as the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it tell you that the earth, that Esau is his world, and Jacob coming after. How we know it's Esau's world right now because Jacob is who is when the world of Jacob follows Esau's world when righteousness will be on the earth, right? When the Messiah comes back. Because he's of the house of Jacob. He's an Israelite. Keep going. Get to the point.
Economic contraction.
I can't go to work. Y'all won't give me no stimulus money. DCF ain't returning no clothes to give me no punk ass food stamps. How the fuck am I supposed to take care of my kids? Because y'all got all the essential shit shut down and all unnecessary shit open. This shit is stupid, bro. I'm not no worthless ass bitch, bro. I gotta figure out how to take care of my kids, and I can't do that shit with the whole fucking world closed down, but y'all got fucking dumbass slim chickens open. And fucking, bro. I've been calling DCF every motherfucking day to try to get some motherfucking food stamps. Unemployment ain't doing shit. DCF ain't doing shit. I ain't got no motherfucking job because I want to fire people, and then not let motherfucking driver's license plates be open and the fucking slim chickens are open.
Compared to many other industries.
These people about to be destroyed, man. All praises, call halam. All praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. In this foolishness, man. You know, it says, man, I got so many scriptures right here. So that's that. So Eve, that's what you sat down with, man. She have no, so that's why the Lord said, but Jeremiah 7:16, therefore pray not for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. See thou not what they do in the cities of Judah. That's why you so-called blacks don't even know what part of Africa you from? You want to say you from Africa? You don't have no clue, man. You the only people on the earth, man, that's like that, in that condition, right? And in the streets of Jerusalem, man, you're literally from Jerusalem, bro, and you have no clue of that, man. And you can't even go over there without being looked at funny. Your own homeland, that's your place, man, right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let me get one more scripture, man. That's pretty much my response on it. It says, I think it says, let me get that. This is another part of my response, man. 5, I think it's 22. It says, Job 5 and 22. It says, let me start at, let me start at 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Who did he? The Most High, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahushua. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah. And 7, there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death. And in war from the power of the sword. Who's the sword? So-called white man, man. Tell you that in Psalms 17th chapter. It tells us that. Verse 21. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, right? So when you scourge, man, you people are having your mind seared, man, right? You it's a battle for your mind, man. Scourge, whipped. He's whipping the sense out of yo. What's your name? You know what I'm saying? That's what his words does, man. Every time Esau open up his mouth or uses somebody to open up their mouth with his words, it says, thou shalt be healed from the scourge of the tongue, right? Because tongue goes into language. Neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine, thou shalt laugh. You saw by the Spirit laughing, man. That's funny. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth, right? For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shalt not sin. You know, these so-called Latinos, blacks, Native American people, man, that's about to be destroyed. They ain't give a damn to begin with, man. You want to sit down? You need to be figuring out why this going on. You crying about everybody broke, girl. So what do you? I don't even get it. That's funny, man. Learn who you are. Damn devils. Because these the same people you would try to tell this to, and then, man, get the fuck out of my face with y'all. They ain't trying to hear that. That's what they do, man. So that's that, man. Give a damn about these damn people. They need death. They need a restart. Right? The earth needs death. A whole lot of it. You people don't understand. Got no damn sense, man. No sense. It says, thou sittest to eat with a ruler. Consider diligently what is before thee. And put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man. Give it to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Right? You people want to be just like so-called white man. Pick a fence. You want what he got instead of figuring out, okay, see, I've never been that dude. I want to figure out. I don't want you to. I want to figure out how to fish. I want to figure out how he did it. You know what I'm saying? I always been that. The Lord always gave me that type of spirit. That's how you supposed to actually be. But you people don't got no sense, man. Tasty or savory food, delectable food, right? Delicacy, things highly esteemed, very suitable. You know, seasoned food. The new technology, the chip, you can just put it in your hand. It's so convenient. You people you're gonna be desirous of that, man. And it says they are deceitful meat, man. Esau rules the earth right now. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, man. We can't get that enough. Kazab, man. It says a deceitful in Hebrew is kazab, and it means a lie, untruth, falsehood, deceptive thing. Liar, leasing, lying. You know, that's Esau, man. To lose by false hope. Ain't no hope. Ain't no making America. This place is about to be destroyed, man. Do you not know what happened here? You people don't remember social studies, U.S. history. You people have no clue. What is wrong with you? It says, labor not to be rich. Cease from thy own wisdom. You should be getting rich in the spirit for what's getting ready to happen, man. But nah, you want to just sit around, act like ain't nothing happening. Let's get this. Isaiah 30. Woe to rebellious children, saith the Lord, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me. So you take counsel. What is counsel? Let's go into that word counsel. The word for counsel in the Hebrew, man. Let's go into that. Word for counsel is aitazah. Aitazah. And it's a vice, purpose, right? Advisement and plan. What's the plan? How are we gonna get out of this so-called white man? How can we, make ends meet during these hard times? It's all you do, man. That's all you do. He's your God. You really think the Lord ain't saying it like that, and you really think you really think it's just not clear cut like that. You people make excuses, and you a fucking bunch of bums, man. All you goddamn people, man. You don't really want life. You don't really want any goddamn thing. You deserve every bit of destruction that's coming, and you got time, man. You have time, you know. You never even looked at the aspect of time. You never stopped to even see how important time is, like time. It says counsel with which anyone forms, execute a plan or counsel. What's the plan? How we gonna get out of this, man? So the Lord said, it says, his people, woe to the rebellious children. Who is the rebellious children? So-called blacks or Negroes, so-called Latinos and Native American Indians, man. Because you're the children of Israel. Them the children he deal with. Woe to rebellious, right, children. You go against what he told you to do. Having sense, right? Because you're the people of God. You represent him on earth. Saith Yahweh, right? You want to act like kings and queens, but in a plain way, man, right? It says, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So you get dressed in the morning, but ultimately you're not dressed because you go outside completely naked, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like the part on Paid in Full when Mitch was crying, grown man, because his little brother got took. I feel naked out here, B. I don't know what to do, because he completely had no clue how to move, etc., man. He didn't know what to do out here. He said, I feel naked out here, B. And he was completely dressed. That's what the Lord talking about. And you so-called women who cover your hair that think you're in the truth, and you're not, man. You're not. You know what I'm saying? That walk to go down to Egypt. Then they say we was going to come back into Egypt, so that's talking about America, right? And have not asked at my mouth, right? To strengthen themselves in the strength of the Pharaoh, which would be likened unto, Trump, right? And to trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? I think that's let me get one more, man. There's a spirit flowing right now. Lamentations 4 and let me see. Here we go. 4 and 17. Lamentations 4 and 17. As for us, it says, you know what? Let me start at 16. The anger of the Lord have divided them. The anger of Yahweh have divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests. They favored not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. So it's America gonna get it again, man. The so-called, America got the best military, man. You really think they gonna end this thing, man? You still a damn slave, man. You a damn slave. You should have never wanted to be here. And they tell you the next verse, they hunt our steps that we cannot go into our streets. What are we in right now, man? A lockdown. So you cannot, it's just too clear, right? Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Ultimately, we at the end of this thing, and we about to come out of this thing, but a lot of you, in order to come out, you finna die a horrible death, man. Right? Because you watched, but you was watching for a nation. You trying to see if he gonna come up so you can do your thing again. Not trying to figure out, okay, how did they even come up in the first place? Who are they, and how can I come up on my own? You have no sense, man. right? Really searching out, because Lord will show you. So that's pretty much it, man. I think I got everything I wanted to get. Let me get this. Proverbs 24 and 1, it says, "Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. For their heart, their mind, their lob, that's what heart is in the Hebrew, lob, studieth destruction." They study destruction, man. What is destruction? Let's get destruction in the Hebrew, man. The word right there is shad. Shad. It says havoc, violence, devastation, ruin. That's really what they plan to do, man. Oppression of the poor. It says violence, oppression of the weak, right? Wealth obtained by violence. Devastation of wild beasts. That's the so-called white man, man. But you people, hey, man, destruction is needed, man. It says, "For their heart study of destruction, shab, and their lips talk of mischief." That same word, man. That same word. See? Lord, you got to, but this is a different one. Aimal. And this one is toil, trouble, labor, mischief, toil, miserable, grievance, perverseness, iniquity. Yeah, man. Worry, whether of body or mind, to produce of labor, vexation. He wants to completely stress you out. You know what I'm saying? Troublesome comforters. Wow. Troublesome comforters. That's an oxymoron, man. It says, "Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding is it established." See that? It says, "And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches." Esau lying to you and telling you that he got riches, man. You should be you got the game right here. It's telling you how you build a house, and that house is starting with you first. You know what I'm saying? Then a physical house. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, you get your whole life straight. It says, "And by understanding is it established." You gotta sit and one, wisdom is application, and then two, you gotta understand how to apply. You gotta have something to understand. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something to apply. So that goes into understanding. And by knowledge, which is the something you need, right? What you know, shall chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches, right? What you know. You know to go get food to put in your refrigerator. See, that just stands true. "And by knowledge shall chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches." But you might not know. You might just get all pork. So that wouldn't be a pleasant riches. The chamber filled, but it's not pleasant. You know, it's not precious. It says, "A wise man is strong. A man of knowledge increases strength." Right? It says, "For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety." But you want to go watch for a nation that can't save you. You want to go counsel with the so-called white man, like he said. You take counsel, but not of me. Wisdom is too high for a fool. I'm going to end with this. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate, man. Right? Verse 8. It says, "He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person," man. So you so-called these black women about to be used to destroy the damn earth, man. And hey, that's why we gotta die now, and etc. And that's not all of you, but she, Lord about to take her out, man. She on here crying. You know what I'm saying? That's just the funniest thing. And where the men at? Lost. Don't know what's going on. You know?
Our retirement plan with Voya gives us confidence.
We can spend a bit
That's why the scripture say you're gonna make a man more precious
now,
than fine
and
gold.
we're prepared for the future.
Surprise!
We renovated the guest
There ain't gonna be that many left.
room so you can live with us.
I'm good at my condo. Well planned, well invested, well protected. Voya, be confident to and through retirement.
Plan, invest, protect. But you
We're seeing that play out.
You receiving that understanding from a so-called white man, man. Let me get this last thing I was talking about in the beginning.
That they know that they'll be able to take care of themselves.
Not of the Most High, of the so-called white man, teaching you how to plan, invest, and etc.
Already we are seeing the benefit that this is having on their lives and their livelihood and their
Nope, ain't what I want right here.
He's demonstrated that 100% of... Thank you, and thank you so much for having me here to have...
See?
There was an experiment in which women were given, these mothers were given this money on a no-strings-attached basis. To a lot of people, that goes against what they think work and money should be about. Tell me why it works and what you've seen as a result.
See? She's being set up to be a wicked messenger, man. She has no clue of what is going on. Like, no clue. It says many books. Look behind her. Many books. The study of much study is the weariness of the flesh. And there be many books, making of many books, but ain't no mate to the one true book, right? Everybody want to make a book off the book. The whole concept. How you making books about the Bible? That don't make no damn sense.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thank you so much for having me here to have this really important conversation. And what it is that we're seeing...
Kill her, man. So with that, I'm gonna say the inflation is about to come from this UBI, universal basic income. They finna ultimately make people basically lose more money, basically be broker than they were before, thus causing them to start over. And they're about to bring that chip. That's going to be the new form of value. You want to get gold again? Well, we don't use that anymore. You got to use the chip. If you get it today, we can start you off with, let's say, $10,000 on it. You know, something like that. I don't know, but Lord, about to store her. I'm gonna just say, and the rest of you people, just simply don't. It's funny, man. Simply don't take a chip. Don't take a vaccine. Quit listening to the so-called white man. Find out who he is, what's actually going on, who you are. And listen to the men that's going on and get serious while there's still time, man. Because once you take that chip and once that time comes, there's no more rehearsing, man. The game is about to start. So I'm going to say all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem, Raka'ak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well of Yasha Allah being Hebrew for Israel. Peace and blessings to the faithful elect of Yasha Allah, right? Not everybody. The faithful elect. She's not of the elect. So that's why we say that, man. She's a sellout. She's a coon. She's a damn reprobate. And she's out of line, man. And she has a book behind her head that looks like it says African something science, maybe. I don't know. But I know it says African on it. So with that, Shalom wa Barakim Amam Bakhyar Yasha Allah.